devoted chosen. Such misplaced zeal, their eyes remain closed to the true path. Not like you.
Welcome back to another WoW video. Today we'll be covering the Auction House nerf and how it will affect players if Blizzard does not revert the change. A overwhelming majority of you voted that you wanted me to cover it, so that is what I will do. I also took a look at Myst raids due to reports of stealth nerf for gold making there. Join me today as we take a look at all these subjects. Before we get into that, make sure to check out my last video, 4 ways to make 20k to 40k a day. With what's happening, that guide will help you through the Auction House purge. First, I want to say I am in no way an expert in everything Auction House. I mostly do raw gold due to how easy it is to obtain and how fun it is. But I know my way around the Auction House to make it pretty gold piece. That said, here's the deal. Auction House has always been a great way to make gold. There's no doubt about that. But when you farm thousands of TMUG or items, it takes time to post even with TSM. We all know this and are fine with that. Then the Auction House actually changed for the better. People sold more, people had fun farming again. Yes, it was a throttle in place, but even the people were okay with it. At the time, it did not take long to post, but then this new hotfix hit. The time to post has increased so dramatic that people who had thousands of TMUG or the like would sit there for hours trying to post. The system was broke. Was it a mistake? Maybe something to do with another fix? Nope. It was all on purpose to stop people from getting the edge on sales and have a budget. Now, many people who farmed hours on end to obtain many TMUG or the such are now restricted to post so many at a time. At this moment in the US, the rate of new auctions alone already dropped 10 to 15%, if not more, by the time of this video. It's expected due to long wait times. Now, that's not the only thing that's needed to be discussed here. One of the major things I saw that changed that a lot of people are not talking about is post prices. I'm going to tell you right now, I actually was posting bracers a while back and the prices were 5 below, so forth. Now they're 11 to 14 gold each. I think people are overlooking the fact that there is a lot of posting prices that upped in a recent fix. A lot of people are just stuck on how long it takes. You really need to check out your auctions and make sure they're not doubling a price or they're actually not way more than what you were actually posting them before. Let me know in the comments below if this is affecting your farm, even though Blizzard just announced while making this video that they relaxed the throttle, but only for the posting, not for the counseling. It's still going to take a long time to actually counsel your auctions, which defeats the purpose of fixing it back to what it originally was. Now, I do want to say there's a way to get around this, is if you actually have many ults, what you want to do is give them the loot that you have too. Don't post it on one ult, just keep posting it on many to get around the whole throttle issue and anything else that will be bothering you. Now, this is not against TOS. Do not worry about getting banned because there's nothing in the game that says you can't send your ults, items and so forth. Let me know in the comments below if that works for you guys. Let's move on to the next segment. Very simple, just revert it. If Blizzard wants to stop mass posters who bot, look into the account posting the items and see if anything is not human-like. How they do this is up to them. There is a better way to stopping bots and helping players. Here's my suggestion. Make 2 types of auction house. The first auction house can actually be very simple. It can be for players who are actually new to the game and can actually be restricted to how much per account can be posted on there and so forth. Now, I will say that the first one is more noob friendly and can actually have the restrictions they wanted in place, and it can actually just give people the feel of what the auction house is without actually going into the main one and be like, oh, what do I do here, and so forth. It could be like a tutorial guide for people who are new to the game. Now, for the second one, can be very simple. It's going to be something that's for everybody, all the people who know how to do this and want to actually go into the big boys. And this is actually going to be just like we had. And if you want to add something great, more new, that's fine, but don't throttle most of your player base because a few can't get the auction house. Now, I know that sounds pretty harsh, but honestly, all these people who've been doing auction house for years don't deserve to be penalized because someone doesn't understand the auction house or can't put up stuff because they don't know how to use strings and so forth. I mean, yes, there's guides out there and everything, but if you can't learn off of guide, and I know this sounds pretty harsh and I know I'm going to get backlash for this, that's not our fault. That's not the people's fault. I'm a raw gold maker, guys. Y'all really do. But I think it's unfair for the people who do auction house up there to be penalized. It's not right. It's not right at all. And honestly, it's a very bad move for Blizzard to say, you know what, we're going to throttle you because you do so much and you play our game too much. How does that sound fair? Tell me. Let me know in the comments below. Does that sound fair that you get penalized because you play the game so much? My other idea, which I think is actually a real good idea and would actually just squash all this, is personal shops. Keep the auction house, but allow players to obtain a shop to sell a set amount of items while it's open. The shop can be open while you logged out, and all sales go to you with a tax depending on the zone you are in. The more crowded it is, the more tax you have to pay. The less it is, the less you have to pay. Personal shops would be a nice addition to WoW, making instant shops a thing. Just imagine you forgot your potions or the such. You have no longboy. Let's say you need those potions, but you don't want to go all the way back. Well, let's say about 10 shops or 5 shops are right there. You can literally buy from them. Now, well, you're probably like, what? It's going to look ugly and so forth. Well, maybe you can just turn off the shops by clicking a setting, and boom, you don't see no more shops. Now, this could be a great way to sell and help others. You can make games out of this for the community, top shops of the month, or find the secret shop in WoW for amazing deals. These are just examples, things that can actually work and help players. Alright, so I was tweeted from a good friend known as Zazu. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong and never said your name out loud, but there was word going around that Myst raids were nerfed, which would not surprise me at this point. Let me explain. Myst was nerfed at the start of BFA due to changes. Before that, cat raids were nerfed in Legion. Now you are wondering what this has to do with anything. Well, every time an expansion comes out, the expansions 2 expansions back gets a nerf. Now, when I got news that Mr. Panda, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be really bad for the raw gold community, but it turns out that is not. There is actually no nerf, guys. It was only a 286 gold difference. I did every single Mr. Panda raid, and honestly, it was very simple to do, even faster it seemed like, but really wasn't no nerf. Now, does this make it safe for Mr. Panda? Nope. It can actually get nerfed, and I expect it to get nerfed because of Shadowlands. Once Shadowlands comes, I expect Mr. Panda to be what Cat is now, and I expect that Legion is going to be actually the new, basically, WoD, and WoD is going to be the new Myst. So, that said, WoD will get the ban hammer when it comes to Shadowlands. Expect that. This is just something that happens. They don't want you to actually go back and just, you know, complete every single raid and get hundreds of thousands of gold. Is something that they don't want to do. If they did want to do that, they would have actually upped other raids and other expansions before Cat, but nah, you can't really do that. So with that said, guys, there is no nerf. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna check out WoD. It will be part of the weekly video that's coming up, so don't worry. If there is, I will let y'all know here first on the channel. With that, keep doing Mr. Panda raids and the like. I want to say right now, if any Blizzard workers or anybody like that is watching me, thank you so much for the opportunity of playing your game, and I'm going to keep playing your game. But I fear that if you don't revert the changes, a lot of people will just leave and actually find other games to play. With Shadowlands coming out, you'll need as many players to actually play, especially whenever the month is coming out is one of the biggest game ever waited on, Cyberpunk. And honestly, a lot of players play the auction house. If that is taken away from them, they will have no reason to stay on World of Warcraft. With that said, if you enjoyed my video, thank you so much. And if you're on my Patreon, I really am happy that you went the extra mile. You guys are amazing. And if you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, stay stashy.